Hello everybody, Resented here, back in my program, and a little bit of a video that you probably haven't seen in a couple days, and that's my class programming videos. Oh, let's get rid of this because I'm not going to be worrying with sound right now, but yeah, today I'm going to go back into my spells, and I am starting the first class of the ally classes, which is the Knight. And his whole spiel is that he's like supposed to be like a really like a tanky defender sort of person. So he doesn't really have a lot of abilities that deals damage, but he does have a lot of abilities that allow him to take a lot of damage. So yeah, that's like sort of his thing. And his first active is called Fortress, where it forces enemies to target the Knight for 3 turns, and he gains 20% damage reduction for the duration. So it's basically like if you played Monster's Den, one of the status effects was like forces enemy attention, and so if you try to use a targeted ability, you are only allowed to target the person that has like the attention. And I think in that game, if any ability has AoE, then the AoE still affects, but you still have to target the person who has the attention right now. So anyways, Fortress, already read the description, and then the upgrade gives it plus 20% damage reduction for a total of 40%, and then additionally gains 10% health regen for the duration. So that's pretty good. That's basically like it allows him to be like a wall of defense, and allows him to like just take a bunch of punishment before his allies can just come in and finish the job. So yeah, that's basically what that ability is all about. And then his next ability is Defend the Flanks, where it gives plus 12% damage reduction for 2 turns, increased by an additional 4% for each enemy still alive. So since there's a maximum of 4 enemies and a maximum of 4 allies, of course, well, only 4 allies, you can only have 4, no less, no more. This allows for an extra 16% maximum, for a total of 28% damage reduction at level 1. Then what you can do is you can upgrade it to get plus 10% initial damage reduction for 22%, and then you can upgrade it to get plus 3% damage reduction per enemy. And so that puts this up to 7%, and so that allows you to get 28 damage reduction. And if you get both upgrades, then the maximum reduction you can get from this spell is 50%. So that's pretty good. 50% damage reduction on a relatively lowish cooldown, low mana cost. I might want to increase both of these just in case, but I'm probably going to keep them the way they are, because it seems okay at this point, just because warriors don't have a lot of mana. So yeah. Anyways, let's get started. Might have to find where all my crap is. There it is, spells, and we're in warrior, we're in the Knight, and then oh, excuse me, did I hold on? Oh, okay, I got so confused. No, I remember I did this now. I went through almost all of my classes, and I put in the spells themselves, but I didn't put anything in them. I just formatted them just so I won't have to do it every single time that I make a new spell while I'm recording. So all I have to do here is I just have to call the super, and we can get started here. So Fortress is, what would you even consider this spell? Just like a buff? It's a special spell, I guess. I could have like I don't know. I might just call this a buff, honestly. So it's gonna be active.buff. Sorry, I had a yawn. That just came out of nowhere. Initial damage type doesn't matter because it's not going to deal any initial damage. Stat to spend is going to be current mana. Display, oh jeez, keep doing that every now and then. I don't like it. Display stat is going to be mana. Base cost is 25. Base cost multi 0. Cooldown is 4 turns. Upgrade 1 is plus 10% initial damage reduction. And then upgrade 2 is plus 3% damage reduction. Oh my god, per enemy. Oh, here. I capitalize it because it's talking about an entity. Target type is only self, so it's going to be 0. So yes, it's only going to be allowed to be cast on yourself. So we're going to override update description, and we're going to have a couple variables. Initial reduction is going to be a number equal to 0.12. And then like enemy reduction per enemy will be 0.04. So then we're going to do this description equals forces enemies to target the knight for 2 turns, gaining. Oh wait, I'm looking at defend the flanks. I'm an idiot. This is just yeah, okay, I'm dumb. This is plus 20% damage reduction. And then, yeah, I'm looking at defend the flanks. I don't know why. Okay. And then, because this one is the one that it forces enemy attention, not the defense per enemy. Additionally, gains. I'm just gonna do additionally the knight gains 10% health regen for the duration. Okay, now forces enemies to target the knight. Okay, I do need the damage reduction variable though. Damage reduction number equals 0.2, I think. Yeah. Knight for 2 turns, gaining. And we're gonna round this damage reduction times 100. Reduction for the duration. Oh my god. There we go. Okay, now what I'm going to need a couple other variables for the damage reduction. And I was able to change how piercing damage functions in the game. Normally, I don't know if I ever showed this, but I'll show you now. Before, piercing damage was kind of more or less like its own damage type. Even though I wanted it to act like attack damage, but just have that nuance where it pierces any sort of resistance. Piercing damage now is a lot more like attack damage in that if anything, any special that works with a current health attack, it'll also work with the current health pierce. And so as you can see here, the lifesteal listener, or like the lifesteal special, it's only listening for a current health attack. And that's because in the stat change event class, I have it to where if you have a listener that's listening for attack or a current health attack and you're dealing a current health pierce, then it'll also work. And so I did that so that I wouldn't have to, every time I have a current health attack listener, I'll also need to add a current health pierce listener. So now all I need to do is if I have a health or an attack listener, it's also going to be for pierce. And that kind of goes a little bit off from what I originally wanted piercing damage to be, where if it's any sort of resistance, like even if you have damage resistance. But now that I think about it, piercing damage is kind of more or less like the end game or the late game attack damage, because if you're in the late game, you, your allies, and the enemies are all going to have really high amounts of armor. And attack damage is useless against high armor just because of the way that damage reduction works. I think I might have explained it before, but armor in my game works kind of like how armor, well, it's basically exactly the same as armor works in League of Legends, and maybe even Dota. I'm not too certain, just because I haven't played Dota too much to understand its armor mechanics. But in League, it's basically, if you have, like, rather, for each point of armor that you have, it increases your effective health by 1%. So if you have 1 armor and you have 100 health, it's effectively meaning you have 101 health. And if you have 100 armor at 100 health, you effectively have 200 armor. Because it'll make an enemy have to deal 200 points of damage in order to actually kill you. So if you can do the math, when you have 100 armor and you have 100 health and you have 200 health, that effectively means that at 100 armor, you have 50% damage reduction. And so there's where that comes in, and my armor mechanics are basically the same. And so the problem is it scales not linearly, but like not exponentially. It's the other one, like logarithm. I don't even know. But it's basically like you get more defense quickly at early stages. So like the difference in damage reduction between 1 armor and 2 armor is a lot more than the difference in damage reduction from 100 armor and 101 armor. And so, or is it? I can't even think properly about the armor mechanics just because it's kind of strange, but I actually like how it works. And so basically the initial point I was making was at the late game, you have so much armor that you have so much attack damage resistance. And so I made piercing damage as a sort of workaround where piercing damage will pierce any armor so that attack damage can be viable. And since there's no real like magic resist except for like spell damage reduction as any sort of buff or anything, spell damage doesn't really need its piercing counterpart. And so anyways, I got really off track. Basically what I was saying was pierce damage now only works with armor, and if you have anything that reduces attack damage, it's also going to reduce piercing damage. Even though initially that's not what I wanted, but now that I think about it, it kind of makes a little bit more sense to work that way. So anyways, we do need 2 variables. We need an attack listener. It's going to be a parent status effect listener. We're going to need a spell listener. That's also going to be a parent status effect listener. So we're going to override upgrade spell 1. What we're going to do is for this one, it's going to basically this dot damage reduction plus equals 0.2. And that's it. And then I don't need an upgrade spell 2 because all I need to do is check if they already bought the upgrade in the cast spell function. Health regen is going to be another status effect listener. I call it effect just so you know it's an actual status effect. We're going to override cast spell. Then we're just going to return 0 because this isn't going to do any damage, and it's going to and the cast spell function returns how much damage it deals, basically just in case I need something to work off of that in the future. But for now, basically what we're doing is it forces enemies to target the knight. So essentially what this is going to do is it's going to go into each of your allies and set them to being untargetable. So we're going to have to iterate through the entity's array list, and if entity, oh my goodness, entities at I dot stats, and their stat is, yeah, okay, their type, if their type is equal to, what is it, 1, I'm pretty sure? Yeah, 1 is an ally, is equal to 1, then what we're going to do is, actually what I need to do is it just, yeah, no, I know what I need to do. So private, I need another variable. This one is the untargetable effect, and it's another parent status effect listener. Not sharp eye, it's a parent status effect. Sharp eye, get out of here. Okay, so this one is going to go into parent status effect, remove, oh, you know what, I might, ooh, do I have the, I don't, okay, I think this is why I had a target in the remove listener, because I wanted maybe some listeners to apply multiple times, such as an untargetable effect. I wanted to add it to just each of the entities, but the problem is, since it infers the target from the listener itself, then I can't do it this way. And I know I had this problem before because I distinctly remember having to make multiple effects for each ally. Or wait, did I? Hold on. I'm confusing myself now because did I have to do that before? So, okay, so what if I actually add a target? Oh my gosh. I keep hitting caps lock. There we go. This is an entity. Okay, so what we're going to do is instead of listener.targetEntity, I'm just going to do this real quick and just paste that and just go through all of this. Okay. Don't need to do that. And then, oh yeah, the revert function also needs a target. Dang it. Ah! Okay, so let's try this. Because this revert function also infers the target from the listener itself. And so basically I do the same thing. Listener, wait. Target entity, I think. Yes. Okay, so the problem with this is it's going to throw a lot of errors because I call this remove listener a lot, and I don't know when I call the revert. I call it at the end of the status effects duration, so I'm going to have to fix that. Anyways, remove listener from entity ally 1, or rather, I don't even need to do that. Entities at index I. So then what we're going to do is this dot, oh wait, actually, hold on, I can't do that. This is the problem. If I make this untargetable effect a new effect down here, which is what I was going to do, the problem is when I try to remove that same effect from the other entities, it won't be the same, so it won't actually remove. And so what I have to do is first I have to go through all the entities, remove the listener, and then I have to go through the entities again. And this one's going to be J, 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 J. Okay. J. Okay, so this is another for loop, but instead this time we're going to this dot untargetable effect equals new parent status effect listener. No. New status effect. Import. Thank you. And this is going to be untargetable. Target entity will be entity dot entities at index J. Source will be this dot owner. Applied target doesn't matter because we're not changing a value. Multiplier is 0 because we're changing a boolean. Duration is 3 turns. On source doesn't matter. Rounds doesn't matter, but I'm going to make it false, I guess. And then change is going to be false because it's going to change their targetable variable to false. And then entities at J, stats. And then this is going to be... Oh, no, I don't need to do that. Oh, yeah, no, I do need that. I don't know why I went off on a dumb thing. I thought I was going to put in the targetable. I was like, wait, no, that's going to change itself in the effect. But I'm also like, no, you have to actually put it in their listeners, you dingo dummy. Listeners dot push this dot untargetable effect. Yes. I think that's good. And then I do need to go into the parent status effect listener, remove this dot attack listener from the owner, and then I'll need to do the same thing with the spell listener on the owner. And then this dot attack listener equals new parent status effect listener status effect dot attack reduction. No, wait, hold on. That's not right. It's an attack shield, not shield. There we go. Target entity is the owner. Source is the owner. Applied target is when he is the target of an attack, change it by a factor of this dot damage reduction. The negative, of course, because we want to get want to reduce it instead of increasing it. Duration is for 3 turns. On source is false because it's when he is not the source of the damage. Rounds is true. Change doesn't matter. And then spell listener is going to be the same thing, only we're going to listen for a spell shield. I don't know why my mouse is messing up right there. Spell shield. Same thing. Okay, then this dot owner dot stats listeners push attack listener spell listener and okay, do need one more. If this dot bot upgrade to, then remove this health regen effect from the owner. Then this dot health regen effect equals new parent status effect listener. Do I have anything for health regen? I don't think so. So I'm basically gonna make I might make a new status effect actually. Oh god, I zoomed in. Go back. Thank you. That looks fine. Dang it. I need more status effects. Okay, mana pose. I'll put it up here. Public static var health regen debuff status effect, and then this one's gonna be, because this is like, it says health regen, but it actually doesn't change the health regen buff. It changes, it just heals them basically. Public static var health regen buff, because it says buff because it's actually applying to the health regen stat instead of just regenning their health by a factor of their health. So yeah, anyways, in here we're gonna need to go into status effect and go into health regen debuff. Status effect, no. Okay, so health, it's gonna be just like health regen reduced, basically. Display description, it's gonna like say health regen because it's gonna say like minus something % health regen. Change type is a spell. Stat to change, health regen, of course. Base stat is health regen. Is positive is false, is singular is true, reverts is true, and reverts is true. Applied target doesn't matter because we're not changing the value. And then here is the same thing. Status effect dot health regen, but it's the buff equals new status effect. I did the same fucking thing. Health regen buffed. Let's say health regen again. Change type is a buff. Stat to change. Health regen. Base stat. Health regen is positive is true. Is singular is true. Reverse is true. Reverse on override is true. Okay. So now there should be the argument to be made that should also do that for mana regen. And then mana regen. Okay. Health regen reduced, and then it's going to be basically the same thing, only it's the mana regen. So mana regen reduced, mana regen, and mana regen. Okay, then same thing down here. Mana regen buff, mana regen. Then after this, it should be good to go. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, status effect dot health regen buff. Target entity is the owner. Source is the owner. apply target doesn't matter. Multiplier is going to be 0 because we're going to be changing his health regen by a factor. We're gonna not by factor. We're gonna change it by a flat amount. Duration is for 3 turns. On source doesn't matter. Rounds is false, and change is 0.1. And then stat. Nope. I need to import stat change event. Dot text array. Push this dot owner. Dot stats. Display name. It's not just display name plus I guess like health regen buffed himself. Yes. Okay, so that seems fine. So we have the untargetable, all that. We do have the attack reduction. Okay, and then go in here, text array dot push. This dot owner stats display name plus is a fortress, so that people know. People get scared at how powerful he is. And so now, honestly, I'm gonna have to cut this video short after the fortress is done, even though I know I have one more ability to do, and I said I would do one more ability. I didn't expect fortress to take this long, and there's still going to be a problem because since I changed the functions inside the parent status effect listener to take a target, every reference to these two listeners I have to fix because they're going to be broken. This is going to be the Knight Fortress. Then down here. But yeah, I do have to cut it short because I do need to get ready before work. I didn't actually expect this to take so long. So let's start it up. It's gonna fail. Well, it failed that time because it hasn't compiled in a while. But now it's going to fail because all these references to a function that need one more variable. Yep. Okay. So revert. So turn event. We're reverting the current entity. Yes. Okay. Should be fine. Oh yeah, I'm actually gonna go ahead and make this look a little more compact by doing this. Just bringing it down a little bit. Something else. Where is this? Wait, I'm confused. Incorrect number of arguments. Check what? Oh, I have to. I don't know where it's calling it from because I compacted it a little bit more. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. Okay, remove listener. Remove from. Wait, actually. Oh, okay. And then at this point, I can basically do remove indexes k target entity, because that'll go into the parent status effect listener and pull the target entity out from that location. Yes, that seems fine. I'm okay with that. Okay. Yes. And then, ooh, okay, current listener from, I guess just the target here. Target, yeah, that should be fine. Gotta run through all this. Remove listener. This, I guess this dot target entity. Correct? I'm pretty sure that that will be fine. Because before that's what it did anyway. Now I'm just adding it to the function itself. This dot new status effect listener. And I'm pretty sure it's just this dot target. No? Okay. I'm just going to the target entity. There we go. That should be okay. There. Okay. Still one more. This dot new status effect listener target entity. Just going through all this nonsense. gonna be throwing a lot of errors. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. 0 in. Okay. Yeah, this is where it was. Yeah, this is where I had the problem with it. Oh man, I really need to cut the video short. Yeah, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix all of this before my next video, and from there I'll try my best to maybe do 3 abilities. Defend the flanks, on your feet, and forceful impact. These on your feet shouldn't take too long. It's just a heal. And forceful impact is just damage plus more damage. I've done this before, so anyway, I'm going to actually change the wording just a bit. Bonus damage. There we go. Okay, so from there, I'm sorry I'm cutting the video short, but from there, that is all I can really do at this point in time. But hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, then please show your appreciation by liking it, subscribing, commenting, all that good garbage. And, again, sorry to cut it short, but I will see you guys next time.